Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Victoria here, and I'm bringing to you another bar related video. Yes, that's right. And this is the reason why. Recently I was looking through our comments that we were receiving on YouTube, and under the video titled "The Bar Exam Results Are In," I saw one of our subscribers wrote, "Can you do a video on what you did to pass and what you did differently?" And I said, of course. I'll be sharing you guys 3 tips on what I did to help me pass the bar exam the second time. And please, please, please do not take these 3 tips as Bible and think if I do these 3 tips, I'm definitely gonna pass the bar exam, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm simply here to share my testimony and what I did in hopes that it can help you. Like, if you choose to take 1 or 2 things out of what I said and apply it to how you find best that it will fit into your study schedule. Or maybe you decide to take nothing, and this is just me sharing my testimony to you. But here I am sharing with you guys my 3 tips on what I did differently to pass the bar the second time. Okay, so to begin, number 1. The first tip that I will share with you guys is that I did this with God and with God alone, because we all know that God does not put us through something that we cannot bear. So if I was going to be put through this trial of taking the bar exam again, then that means that God is going to equip me with what I need to take this bar exam again. So I had to lean on him heavy. I had to trust him heavy, and I had to believe and keep the faith that while I was studying, I need to listen to that voice in my head, because I knew that was him telling me, go hard, go hard. Or I need to listen to that voice in my head that was telling me, take a break and pull back. Because there was some days that I would wake up and I would just go hard. Like, I would just be in there reading laws, doing MCs, doing essays, and just killing it. And then there was some days where I was just like, can't do this, God. Like, what? Like, I need you. Tell me what to do. And during those moments, I would just take a break, watch a movie, call up a friend, go somewhere with Dante, take a walk alone, do even grocery shopping, cook, just take my mind off of it and do something in the meantime. And then when I came back, my mind was fresh and I was ready to go hard. Like, partially because I was guilty that I just took up hours of the day not studying, and then partially because, like, I knew now God was telling me I'm ready, my mind's ready, and that what I studied during this period of time will be retained and in there. I say that to say, with God, anything is possible. As like that saying is said, it is so true. I couldn't have done without him. Couldn't have done without the prayers from my family and friends and everyone who believed in me. Like, number 1 is God. So number 2, my second tip that I will share is that I created my own bar schedule. And I'm very thankful for all the bar companies out there and how they craft their schedule for their students. But for me, I found that that was possibly my downfall, because I was with a bar company where they created everything that I'll be doing that day, everything that I will study that day, questions I will do that day, essays, and so forth. And I was very grateful for that the first time around. But the second time around, I just knew I couldn't rely on that again. So I made a schedule that was fitting for me. And I'm about to drop another cliche saying. I don't know where I got this from, but it's in my head. Like, nobody knows you like you know you. So you have to create something that you know is best for you. And that is exactly what I did. These calendars that I created for myself were so beneficial for me. So to begin, I took the bar exam in February. I failed it July 2018. So the next possible time I had to take it was February 2019. Yes, that's correct. So I took it February 2019, but I began studying in December. 2018. So in the beginning, I will explain to you guys how I studied and how I transitioned into doing questions. Because in the beginning, I did strict studying. Like I didn't do many questions. I didn't do many essays. I just wanted to memorize one-line rules, embed it in my head, know it verbatim, spit it verbatim, and just know the law when I see it. Basically, know the buzzwords that they want me to use and know exactly what they are asking me once I see those key terms in the questions. So in December, when I started studying, I started off with SIR procedure. So I have my calendar in front of me. So I started off with SIR procedure, and that took me 3 days. I think because I was just getting my feet wet, I needed just 3 days to just go hard with SIR procedure. And they have a lot of rules. So I needed time to really memorize those one-line rules for each rule so that when it comes time for me to write it, I can just spit it verbatim, or when it came time for me to answer a question, I can see which one it is. So that's what I did in the beginning. So I spent like 3 days on SIR procedure, 2 days on torts, then crim law, crim pro, and evidence. And I must add that I took a break on Saturday. I took a break on Saturday, not only because I'm an Adventist and I go to church and it's a Sabbath, but I took a break because I just needed a break. I couldn't overdo it, especially because it was the first month I just began studying. I didn't want to burn myself out. So in the first month, I took breaks on Saturday. Monday through Friday, I would learn new material, constantly learn that new material. And on Sundays, I would review everything I learned that previous week. For example, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I started doing SIR procedure. Thursday, Friday, I did torts. Saturday, I took a break. And then Sunday, I reviewed SIR procedure and torts. And then Monday will be new material. That was pretty much my first month of studying, was just getting it really embedded in my mind, and a lot of memorizing, a lot of reading. And then in January is when I started doing questions and essays. And I would say I would do about 50 to 75 MCs a day. So for example, when I first started studying, I did SIR procedure for 3 days, as I shared. I did 3 days of just learning the law, memorizing the law. So now that I'm picking up my Big Finn's book of MBEs, I made it out that day in my head that I would do about 50 to 75 SIR procedure essays. And every time I was doing a day where they had MBEs, I would make it out to do about 50 to 75, like minimum 50, maximum 75 MBEs a day. And days when I did courses where they did test on MBEs, like for example, corps and LLCs, I would do 6 essays that day. And I would do it that day and I would review it that day. So if I did like 6 essays that day, I would review the 6 essays that day. Or if I did 3 that day, I would review 3, then do 3 more in the evening, and then review 3. So I just had to just go with what my body was telling me, go with what my mind was telling me, like how hard should I go and when should I take a break. And like for the MBEs, sometimes I would wake up, kill 75, take a break, review 75 later. Or I will kill like 25, take a mini break, come back, 25, do a mini break. So yeah, so my phase 1 was memorizing the rules. Phase 2 was really doing the MBEs, MEEs days. And I will only do SIR procedure essays, SIR procedure MBEs that day. And the next day I'll do SIR procedure MEEs that day. And the next day I'll do like torts MBEs that day. The next day I'll do torts MEEs that day. So I will just keep that structure in each day. And then after I hit all the courses, then by then it was February. So then in February, this is when I did practice exams. So the first week of February, I did starting that Monday, I did 100 MBEs from the FINS book because they had like practice exams in the back. So I ripped it out, woke up the time that I would for the exam, sit down and start my clock, and I did those 100 MBEs for the 3 hours. And then I wouldn't even look at the MBEs once I was done, because Tuesday I would review those MBEs. And then Wednesday I would wake up, time I would for the exam, and I'll do 6 MEEs. And I will kill those 6 MEEs and not look at it that day until it was the next day on Thursday. And then on Thursday I will review the 6 MEEs. But one thing I want to point out, on my review days, it would be another memorization day. So when I'm reviewing my MBEs, I would pull the rules from what they want and I'll memorize it. First, I would type it into a Microsoft Word of rules that I need to memorize, and then I'll write it in and I will memorize it. And so like that day was pretty much, I'm reviewing 100 MBEs, I'm also memorizing about the same amount of rules, but some were repeated. So it wasn't really 100 rules I was memorizing that day. And then on the MEE days, when I review those days, it will be another memorization day of the rules that they were testing in the essays. So that was my structure. But then on Friday, I was in a state, Washington, D.C., where they did MPTs. And that would be my MPT day. Friday was also my lazy day because they know I'm Adventist. So sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, I'll take a break. I will review the MPTs on Saturday. So now it's February, so I started picking up to my Saturdays as study days, but only at sundown. So by like 6 o'clock, my book was open and I was reviewing my MPTs. And then on Sundays, I would do the struggle areas. For example, I'll review the MBEs I got wrong. And then I'll review the rules I missed out on the MEEs. And that would be my Sundays. And then Monday, pick right back up, doing 100 MBEs. And that was my phase 3, was basically doing the practice exams full on and reviewing it full on. So those are the 3 phases I went through when studying for the bar exam. And I found that best for me because I guess mentally I couldn't just dive right in and do a question just yet, because then that would kill my confidence from just getting them wrong and getting them wrong and getting them wrong. It's just that I needed to know the rule. I needed to be confident in the rule, and then I could attack questions, and then my confidence would build because I am recalling the rules that I memorized and applying it to the question. And even if I got it wrong, I would then see why I got it wrong. Oh, I was thinking of this when this is so similar, and I'll be able to put the 2 similar rules together and know that don't make the mistake again. I found that was best for me, and I knew that's my style of studying, and I knew that's how I need to apply it for the bar exam. So that was my pattern. So now number 3, my 3rd tip that I used to pass the bar exam the 2nd time. So guide, calendar, life. Like, I needed to have a life. And let me tell you, the first part of the bar exam, I did not have a life. Like, I put myself through so much when I didn't need to. Like I even told Dante, like, when I took the bar the first time, Dante and I were just boyfriend, girlfriend. And I told him, like, I can't see you during the weekdays, only weekends. And I'm like, don't come over, no. You know, the only time I saw Dante was when he was like bringing me food or going for church on the weekends, but I never saw him really during the day. And I created that boundary in our relationship for my studying habits that I thought I needed for myself. And I put on other boundaries, so such as like I couldn't turn on the TV unless I was in bed, like nights over. I'm not saying now I turn on the TV just to like fall asleep to a show. And like when my friends called me, like denied. I didn't answer their phone calls. It was just that I made myself feel like I had no life and only the bar was my life, which it is in a sense, but you should still have some form of social life, where I feel like I needed that. It was like really that bad where I did not have a life or did not create a life for myself. And it was not till the second time where I realized, and I spoke to friends also, like now I'm trying to understand how and why I failed the first time. And was beginning to see that while in law school, we worked, we cooked, we cleaned, we went on dates, we hanged out, we had fun, and we survived law school. So why are we not applying the same thing while studying to the bar, while studying for the bar? The second time I realized, continue to work, cook for yourself, grocery shop, hang out with your man. By the second time, Dante was my fiance. So we really wanted to enjoy the fiance engagement stage of our life. So we went to movies, museum, dinners, and explored DC, because that's when we was living in DC at the time. And it was a great experience. And I must say, like, my mind was able to breathe and I felt free. And I just know I needed that personally. I needed to feel free. I needed to feel relaxed, at a peaceful state, not at a stressed, high-strung state where I was putting myself in before. So let's recap. The first thing I said was that I couldn't have done this without God. I needed him by my side every step of the way, telling me how hard I should go, telling me when to pull back, giving me that constant encouragement and allowing me to believe in myself. Number 2 was nobody knows you like you know you. So I created my own calendar, which had 3 phases. The first phase was know the law, read it, memorize it, you got this vibe. Second phase, start tackling questions. And then the third phase was, all right, hit me with practice exams. That was the 3 phases for rule number 2 of creating your own calendar. And number 3, my third tip that I used was maintaining a lifestyle, maintaining a life that I knew I had and that the bar didn't need to rob from me. And knowing that a relaxed state of mind is the best state of mind. Those are the 3 tips that I used that allowed me to pass the bar exam the second time. Please, again, don't use these 3 tips as Bible, but it's just me sharing my testimony and with hopes that it could possibly help you. This is my video on what I did to pass and what I did differently. So to that subscriber out there, I hope you were blessed with this video first, and I hope you gained something out of this video. And to everyone out there watching, I hope you guys received the same. So in conclusion, after all is said and done, I hope to see you guys in the next video. And remember, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.
Free.